Welcome back, Aces, to another X-Wing Battle Report. I'm Brian.
And I'm Ethan.
And I'm Sam.
Today we have Lieutenant Blount with swarm tactics and concussion missiles and guidance chips, and 5 Bandit Squadron pilots with concussion missiles and guidance chips.
Victor is running 4 Tempest Squadron TIE Advance with cluster missiles, guidance chips, the title, and accuracy correctors.
And really happy to see my favorite card, from Wave 8, the guidance chips being used in mass in this fight. Epic swarm on swarm, I just love it.
And I get to see my favorite ship on the Imperial side, the TIE Advanced, used en masse, along with my favorite card overall, the accuracy corrector.
Really interesting battle. Really like Victor's deployment coming up the side. Looks like he's really going to use his speed of his Tempest pilots to overpower those Z-95s. Matt was kind of doing what rebels do. He's just going to dirtle up the center.
And six ships is never something easy to see on the other side of the field, no matter how many you've got.
Yeah, they're only Z-95s, but I mean, concussion missiles and guidance chips, you're guaranteed almost at least 3 damage. I mean, especially with Blount using his thread tracers, you're going to have a whole lot of target locks and a whole lot of concussion missiles going at something. It's just kind of a shame we don't get to see it going against like a Decimator or a Ghost or really just murder that thing down, but one of those Tempest Squadrons is going to be really sad in the opening shots.
Yeah, I think with the combined firepower of his 6 Z-95s, the TIE Advanced are in a really bad spot. Victor's going to have to be really careful how he engages here. If he moves too fast, that the 1 or 2 advance that they get those shots on is not going to be happy.
Yeah, and Victor took the initiative here, which I think was a really smart play. He's going to get where he wants to be. Everybody's at pilot skill 2, except for Blount. And he's going to get where he wants to be, potentially block off a bunch of the actions of those Z-95s, and with those cluster missiles, getting both of his attacks off, because he's certainly going to be able to target lock. I think it was a really good move, deciding to take the initiative.
On the other hand, the TIE Advanced is a very durable platform. I mean, it's one of the most durable ships in the Imperial arsenal. It has lots of hull points, some shields. It has really good evade at 3, so it's not like this is as unbalanced a matchup as you could possibly see.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like to see thread tracers out there. It's a really interesting combination.
Yeah, and here we got Blount with his thread tracers, getting all the target locks off on that guy. I mean, threw a rock, but I think he's still probably going to be a sad panda. And here we got the first one going through.
First concussion missile. Even threw a rock. It's a lot of hate to be taken. You're averaging four hits with that build.
And second round, just doing work.
There goes one right off the bat. I think maybe Victor could have gone a little slower on this first turn just to kind of gauge where Froome was going.
That's the difficult choice you have when facing a swarm, especially an ordnance swarm, is figuring out when you want to burst ahead in terms of speed. I think this was a good decision by Victor here. Pushing forward really fast here. He's encouraging a lot of bumping. He's creating the parking lot, and at the same time he's getting his own actions out, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's where that initiative really comes into play. Which, like Brian said there, I think Victor taking it was a great decision.
Yeah, I think the best thing Victor could have hoped for in the opening engagement was to have another 1 or 2 of them burn all their munitions just to try and get one of those guys down. He was just going to have to forfeit one of them. one of the four there, but at least forcing all of these bumps, it's going to be a while before these Z-95s can line up another solid round of ordnance.
And here's a couple interesting maneuvers on Matt's part. I think he chose a lot of maneuvers which wouldn't have worked out like normally anyways, but they create this large bumping mass which kind of just spirals out of control.
It's not very often you see a swarm form a parking lot on itself without bumping any of the enemy ships. I mean, he's guaranteeing all of his guys are going to be able to shoot in range 1, which isn't horrible, but none of them are going to have any sort of dice mods.
And a lot of them are going to be range 2 even. So, and that's, I mean, unmodified dice versus unmodified dice, with 5 hull points. I think, it's not unreasonable to think a Tempest could survive that.
Blount passing off swarm tactics, get the 2 guys at pile skill 6. Really hoping I could play a little bit more keys, not like he's getting any damage through, but I was really hoping swarm tactics would kind of be a little bit sharper knife edge against those Tempest squadrons.
And here comes a concussion missile from Tempest.
Cluster?
Yeah, cluster, sorry.
Yeah, cascading crit doesn't look like it goes through for any more damage.
A little bit of luck for Matt.
And the second shot effortlessly taking him out.
Those 2 rolls, 3 dice is pretty devastating.
Well, you get guidance chips on one of your rolls, and you got accuracy corrector to back it up, so...
Yeah, so we can see it is possible to take out 2 ships in a single action like we've seen here, but at least that Z-95 will still get an opportunity to attack because of the simultaneous pilot skill.
Yeah. And Z-95s, it's kind of interesting that he chose to go for a farther back guy. I think Matt's thinking that the one farther up doesn't really have a good follow-up maneuver he can make, so he's probably not going to be relevant in the next round.
And he takes the dump bump crit.
Yeah. Don't run into anybody or explode.
And this is unfortunate on the asteroid by a hair's
Just by a
breadth.
hair there.
Yeah.
Going for a little bit of an intentional bump, I think, yeah. How much he could have done.
I think it was interesting that he decided to move the farther up one first. That back one's the one that's got the don't bump crit. So, looks like he's barely threading the needle there, narrowly avoiding his own ship and narrowly avoiding that asteroid. If he would have bumped that other Tempest, he would have been in for. I think it would have held off that other Tempest squad's movement.
Yeah.
I think it would have.
It would have at least guaranteed that ship didn't die unnecessarily. Well, I mean, he still could have hit the asteroid. It was an excellent maneuver.
Yep.
Very well sighted. What do you think about the difference in dials between the TIE Advanced and the Z-95, Sam?
Well, I'm mostly an Imperial player, so I'm pretty well versed in the TIE Advanced dial. I haven't used Z-95s a whole lot. It's one of my least favorite ships in the game entirely. I think speed-wise, the TIE Advanced really needs to leverage that speed and, maybe disengage here a little bit. Set up for another kind of like a flyby attack.
Woman zone.
Yeah. I think especially with accuracy correctors, I mean, you don't care as much if you're at range 3. You just get those 2 hits.
I was a little bit surprised that Victor decided to take the initiative. I'm more used to flying the higher pilot skill aces, and so whenever I have 2 pilot skills, mine and my opponent's that are the same, and my ships have barrel roll or boost, I always pass off initiative just so I can use boost and barrel roll to the fullest to try to arc dodge as much as possible. But so when they started this game, I kind of expected that. It does happen. 2 hits and a crit. But I think Sam definitely Victor really made the right choice in taking the initiative. It really plays to his fleet's advantage.
Yeah,
it's
I think
not something I expected.
I think in this kind of matchup, you want that initiative more than you want to be able to dodge arcs. I mean, with that many ships on your opponent's side, I mean, you're gonna be hard pressed to get out of arcs of many of them.
Yeah, and not having to worry about attack die modification. You can just barrel in, bump something, take an evade, and hope they bump you.
As an Imperial player, I mean, how do you see disengaging? I mean, a lot of Imperial ships are built for the knife fight. Is it difficult for you to decide when to disengage?
It is for me. It's I'm fairly aggressive, which doesn't always work out in my favor. But the Imperials definitely have the advantage in that part of the game. If you can just take off, leave him with maybe 1 or 2 Z-95s to shoot at you from long range, circle back for another attack, and really pick out that key opponent. Which if this were me, I think it would be Lieutenant Blount there. I really want to get him off the board, so he's not passing out that was it Swarm Tactics or Swarm Tactics that he has.
I think Victor's doing the right thing just by keeping in as much as possible. He wants to stay in range 1 of everyone all the time. Taking the 3 attack dice, I think, is a lot better than letting the Z-95s line up more concussion missile shots, and it plays to the advantage of the cluster missiles that the Tempests are using.
That's true.
And that accuracy corrector just doing work today.
I think it's a great card. The ability to not care about attack dice is really strong. Obviously, it's a very difficult choice on the other ships that can take it. Most notably the Ghost, obviously. 2 hits is your average roll on 4 days anyways. I don't think anyone should ever take that on the Ghost, but even B-Wings and the Shuttle, the Lambda, it's a choice. I mean, it's sometimes it's a difficult choice. I've played a lot of B-Wings where I never rolled, above a single hit, so felt like accuracy corrector sure would have helped.
I usually prefer the fire control systems, but I think the accuracy corrector works on the Tempest squadron pilots.
I think it's great on TIE Advanced. I like it on any TIE Advanced. I think you get arguments for the advanced targeting computer for the higher pilots, but I still think that accuracy corrector plays a role. And I think that's...
I think the ATC is better if you have a different way of re-rolling your dice. If you can take Predator, if you can afford it in your list, I think Predator with ATC is better. It works better for me.
I think that
especially
combo
those
itself
range
is
one-shots.
better. If you don't have the option to have Predator, then I think accuracy corrector is a great one. Fire control is nice, but with only the 2 dice attack.
Yeah, you don't really need the reroll.
here we see Victor again, just flipping that over with the accuracy correctors. Sometimes the dice aren't in your favor, and it's really nice to just guarantee yourself a couple of hits.
Yeah.
Which under most circumstances is the highest damage output an advance can put out without extra help.
Victor staying in that fight really does a good job of making sure that those Z-95s either have to K-turn to stay relevant, or they're never going to be in a position where they can shoot their missiles. I think has really been key.
How many of those Z-95s have missiles left?
I
think both
right
the
now,
live ones.
Yep.
Okay.
And once.
Blount's used his threat tracers already, and I think there's only one left alive that still has his. Maybe two. In the next cluster missiles.
I think we're definitely going to see a much more ordnance-heavy meta now that guidance chips out.
I'm really happy about that. I love ordnance, torpedoes and missiles especially. Bombs I'm not a big fan of, but they're just so hard to use before. They take up a lot of points, and being able to flip that dice for free, I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see what kind of shenanigans people can come up with.
And these, like, Z-95s are usually a go-to. I mean, if you can fit 2 or 3 of them in your list, you'll usually take, like, one solid ace or a big ship with, several bandits. And I think now it's going to be a choice of, well, do I take, this one guy with 3 bandits, or I can take one guy with more upgrades, 2 bandits with concussion missiles, because this bandit squad loadout is only 16 points, and it can dish out a lot of damage.
I definitely think we're going to see a lot of the lower pilot skill, lower point cost ships coming in. I think for 21 points, a CNR test pilot with concussion missiles and Title is a really dangerous ship. Obviously the Z-95s for Scout and Rebels, also good. But we may even see Ordnance Y-Wings for the Rebels with targeting action mix, so they can make that huge boost, get that target lock, get that alpha off.
Yeah.
Could be interesting.
Got some TIE bombers in there.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've seen those guys.
I don't think we're going to see him
Here we got Blount Blount getting taken out. Landed in a bad spot with that K-turn.
And one lone Z-95 versus...
I really pegged the Z-95 squad to do all the work here, but Victor is flying that right. He's moving around. He's getting some good luck on the defensive rolls. Not really needing luck with the offense. And Matt here is making some interesting maneuvers. That first turn where he bumped himself a lot, wasn't able to take actions.
You could really count.
Getting that target lock in for his concussion missiles, and I think he forgets to let Victor shoot first, but it doesn't really matter. They're at the same pilot skill.
Well, sometimes it has a lot of effect. You take that crit that says no more shooting, and you're pretty peeved.
Yeah.
Here comes that reply, and
It looks like
dead.
they take each other out. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to leave a comment below with a ship or a build that you'd like to see. And be sure to hit that like button. We'll get more X-Wing videos out here for you. And don't forget to subscribe.